Welcome to session 2 of Recap, Regulatory Compliance Preparatory Solution. In this section, we're going to focus on the requirements for representatives, key individuals, and sole proprietors. In other words, what do you as a representative or a key individual or a sole proprietor need to meet in order to be deemed fit and proper? Now, the diagram behind me is a familiar one. The FSB has used it quite extensively in its communication with the sector. And you will see that there are three key components that representatives need to meet in order to be deemed fit and proper. The first is competence, and that goes to three key things. Your minimum qualifications, your experience around the product and the environment in which you are working, and the regulatory exam. Obviously, a regulatory exam is applicable to everyone. Regulatory exam 2 is very specific to the product that you are selling in your working environment. Then we have the component that deals with the code of conduct, and very specifically it looks at behaviors that would meet the honesty and integrity requirements of the fit and proper. And finally, it deals with continuous professional development. Now remember that continuous professional development is the flip side of the coin on competence. Because where competence deals with current qualifications and experience, your continuous professional development looks at the future. It looks at how you continue to learn and grow, and in doing that improve both your own career as well as the opportunities for your organization, and finally ensuring the consumer the best possible advice. So if those are the requirements for you as a rep, what is it that the examination will cover, and therefore what is it that you need to study? Well, there are two key components to the context of your work, and these are pieces of legislation. It's the FASE Act and the FICA Act. In the context of these two pieces of legislation, you will need to know what your competence requirements are. In other words, what's the experience and qualifications that you need to have to operate in the sector? You will need to know what behaviors constitute honesty and integrity. That goes to the code of conduct. You will need to know what constitutes continuous professional development when you are required to embark on these continuous professional development programs. And finally, you will need to know the various board notices that support the FASE Act, the FICA Act, your qualifications, your CPD requirements, and finally the code of conduct. In part 3, we will look at the requirements for key individuals and sole proprietors. See you then.